there. Right there. Okay. So can you see me now? Can you see me now? Right there. How about right there? Anybody? Lighting malfunctions. Okay, yeah, that shit ain't working. Can you see me now? What's up, everybody? I see somebody here. Somebody showed up. Okay, what it do? What it do? So it's been a minute. Your boy been, you know what I'm saying, man, life. Work, the usual life, you know what I'm saying, been kicking your boy in the balls. But I'm still here, still going. It's the weekend. Looking forward to having some fun doing something. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. I don't give a damn. Hey, I'm happy I ain't got to go to work. Nah, I ain't not knocking work. I love my job, but you know what I'm saying, the weekend I get to, you know what I'm saying, enjoy myself, relax, kick back, you know what I'm saying, do some fun stuff. So I was wondering, I just did a fishing video. I went fishing, finally got a chance to go fishing. Oh man, it was a good day. Caught like 14, like 12 to 14 bass. My boy caught like 4 or 5, but he let a couple get away because he wasn't setting the hook. You know, I be trying to teach. I be trying to teach. But that's the thing I noticed. Everybody I take fishing catches some fish. So I need to set up a service, snow fishing service. I will teach you how to come out here, you know what I'm saying, and catch you some fish. Hit my line, holla at your boy. Hey, you pay for the boat, you pay for the bait, you know what I'm saying? I'll take you to a spot, guarantee you catch the fish. What? Where was this? Just tapping in snow. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? My little fishing spot, just talking about, you know what I mean, the little fishing trip I went on with my boy baby Vamp. Yeah, drug him out. But had to sneak away, you know what I mean, to my little secret fishing hole, Loveland Reservoir. Man, it was off the hook. Fish are biting. It's that time of year though. You know what I mean? So anywhere you go, you gonna catch. Plus, you know what I'm saying, I was cheating. I had some prior knowledge. I've been there before. You know what I mean? I've been going there for a gang of years. That's the biggest bass I ever caught was there. The biggest catfish I ever caught was there. I'm still looking for other spots, but biggest catfish 17 pounds. Biggest bass was 8 pounds 9 ounces. But just, you know what I'm saying, reeling in something like that, you know what I'm saying, you gonna remember that. That's something you gonna remember. Nice. I am a fish. Memoir Lake. Thinking about taking my son. I ain't never been there fishing. I used to work down the street. I've been there, you know what I'm saying, a couple times. You know what I'm saying? We used to have a yard down the street by Scripps Ranch High School. It's a nice area. The lake is beautiful, you know what I'm saying, But anywhere you go, you can catch something, And the main thing, you know what I'm saying, if you want to catch some, go out there catfishing. Now, don't get me wrong, it's some bass, some bass out there. So get you some night crawlers, put it on a drop shot about 2 feet above the weight, and then you know what I'm saying, launch it out there as far as you can and let it sit and soak. Set your pole up and put a bell on it because something big will snatch your pole into the water if you're not paying attention. But that's the thing, about fishing. I'm just bait and weight guy. I will, what I'm saying, throw my line out there and kick back and relax and I'm good. I don't need to be jumping around. I don't want to keep casting. I mean, nah, you know what I'm saying? That's not fishing. That's too much work for me. Fishing is toss it, let it, oh yeah, get it in the spot you want it. Toss it, get it out there. That's it. Sit down, kick on back, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I take my snacks, have my, you know what I'm saying, water, you know what I'm saying? I'm eating healthy now. So I take healthy snacks. But you just kick on back, relax, you know what I'm saying? Wait for the fish to come through. And that's the thing every now and then, you know what I'm saying? You might, you know what I'm saying, drop some bait in here, drop some bait in there and chum the water a little bit. Once the fish start coming around, next thing you know what I'm saying, your pole starts moving. Got one. Nah, but you know what I'm saying, oh yeah, you know about that there. Man, but look, just getting out there, get your pole in the water, man. When the first time I ever went fishing, me and my dad, we was driving by where the behind where the Home Depot is on Mission Gorge now. And there's a little road back there that crosses the San Diego River, and they got tunnels that run under it. And I was there before they put those tunnels in, and that road used to flood all the time. And it was people just pulled over on the side of the road in their cars, and Pops had mouthpiece. Pops, you know what I'm saying, seen they had some beers. So, you know what I'm saying, next thing you know what I'm saying, he's pulling over. Hey, what's biting, Oh yeah, he talked right up into handed a beer. Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying, but they had an extra pole. So I'm a little kid, so they hooked me up. I end up catching 3 catfish. Was hooked on fishing ever since. I can't help it. I had a blast. Man, look, I ended up, you know what I'm saying, incarcerated, you know what I'm saying, reading books about fishing. Anything I can get that has something to do with fishing, I was trying to read it, trying to learn, trying because I couldn't experience because I was stuck in a cage, and like I said, you know what I'm saying, I spent what over 20 years stuck in a cage, surviving. Now I'm out here living. Now life is so much different, but I still have struggles. It's still, you know what I'm saying, the change from one thing to another is still difficult, and I'm still working on it. I can't speak for nobody else, but I have, you know what I'm saying, I've been diagnosed with PTSD. I got personal issues. I got issues on top of issues on top of issues on top of issues. But you know what I'm saying, don't nobody want to hear me whine. So we gonna keep it moving. I get through and I keep pushing and I'm still here. And that's, you know what I'm saying, that's what it's all about. You just gotta keep pushing. My motto in life is can't stop, won't stop. And you know what I'm saying, that's got me to where I am. And this is living the best life I've ever lived. This is I don't know how to say, you know what I'm saying, I'm living my best life. People don't understand. I don't know. It's hard to explain, because every day I get up and I walk out the door and people look at me that don't know me and they see one thing, but they don't know what's really what it took to make this person, what it took to get me to where I am now. Because I wasn't I wasn't a nice guy. I wasn't that guy. I wasn't to help an old lady across the street. I was raised, you know what I'm saying, don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying? I was raised to respect my elders. I was raised with respect. But I got to the point where, you know what I'm saying, I was only thinking about me. And that led me to some messed up situations and, you know what I'm saying, a lot of time. But now, you know what I'm saying, I'm out here living my best life, man, and I try and help people out whenever I can because there was people that had a hand out for me, not a hand up for me. Cause I'm quick. I got a hand up for you. I ain't got no hand out for you, but I got a hand up for you. If I can help somebody, you know what I'm saying, get to a better situation, I got you. Anything, whatever I can do. But most people don't really want it. You know what I'm saying? Most people don't want to work hard. If they did, they would already be doing it. It's not that hard. You got to go get it. If you want something, you got to go get it. I realized that a long time ago. I didn't have nobody. And, I was on the streets when I was 13. So after that, it was, you know what I'm saying, this neighborhood. And that was all that mattered. That was it. And all that mattered to me was a name and a reputation. That's all I wanted was a name and a reputation. I didn't care about nothing else. I didn't care about nobody else. All I wanted was a name and a reputation. And that's the thing, because growing up in the hood, man, people don't even know about White Boy Joey. White Boy Joey was a little kid that grew up in the hood, and he got the blues. You know what I mean? He grew up, you know what I'm saying, he grew up hard. He got picked on a lot. He had to toughen up. He had to deal with it. He had to step up. And that's what he did. And the trauma and whatever, you know what I'm saying, these other people call it, that can't stop you. What are you gonna do? Fold up? Give up? It's not in me. It's not my get down. You know what I'm saying? Keep pushing. Can't stop, won't stop. Man, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Like I said, all I wanted was a name and a reputation. But when I grew up, that's when I realized that I got the reputation. It ain't worth what I thought. I thought I wasted my life for a lot of years. Like, man, I wasted my life just to get a reputation. But nah, you know what I'm saying? I didn't, because what I learned was that if I'm willing to do the work it takes, I can do anything. And that's real, because I wanted a reputation. I went through hell to get it. I went through, you know what I'm saying, 20 years in prison, fighting for my life, fighting for my manhood, fighting for, you know what I'm saying, uh, because other people didn't agree with what I was doing. Because I was white and I was a Crip. I wasn't, you know what I'm saying, I chose my side. I rode it out. I rode, you know what I'm saying, till the wheels fell off, and it wasn't easy. I don't recommend it for nobody, if anybody, you know what I'm saying, if anybody heard, you already know. I've been stabbed 13 times. I've been in more fights than I can remember. I've been jumped. I've been shot with block guns. I've been beat by the correctional officers. I've been through it all, but I'm still here. That's the thing. I'm still here. You know what I mean? Somebody kept me here for a reason, but I'm still here. Yeah, blessed by the best, praying for the rest. Man, life is just getting going. You know what I mean? I'm just getting the second wind. This is the longest I've been out since I was 9 years old. People don't understand that ain't a lot, but you know what I'm saying? This is the longest I've been out of prison since I was 9 years old. And that, you know what I'm saying, 9 years, that ain't all that, you know what I mean? But to me, that's a lot, and I'm coming up on, in January, I've been out 9 years. So, you know what I'm saying? Me, I'm celebrating. I don't know about nobody else. But that's a me thing. That ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. Uh yeah, work been going good. I've been busy. I've been busy. It's a lot. It's not a lot of work, but it's enough. They keep me busy. And no complaints because they paying me. I ain't turned down nothing with my collar. Hold up, what is this? Okay. All right, a little parched, my bad. So yeah, like I say, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot been going on. I ain't been working on, you know what I'm saying, on my YouTube that much. I gotta get back on, you know what I'm saying, y'all forgive me, deal with me, you know what I'm saying, I got some I'm gonna have something else coming out soon. But I just did a fishing video and you ought to check that one out. That's a pretty good one. I had a good day. I think I caught like 13, 14 fish. But it's a good one. Check it out. It's also, you know what I'm saying, it's informational on San Diego. Excuse me. Not bad manners, just good grub. All right, so check this out. Let's go. Let's go back. So, anybody who left? Everybody left? Where y'all going? Better get y'all asses back here. So yeah, it's been a good week. Like I said, it's been a few bumps and bruises. Easter went well. I got a granddaughter on the way. Yeah, we had the gender reveal 2 weeks ago, so that took up most of my weekend, I'm blessed. I'm blessed. The family's growing, things is getting better. You know what I'm saying? Life keeps throwing blessings my way. I'm a happy camper. Thank you, Lord. But yeah, you know what I'm saying. Life keeps throwing blessings my way. I don't know what's next. I just keep pushing forward. And he keeps taking care of everything else. I do my work. You know what I mean? I do the best I can at everything I do. That's what I do. And I go to work. I pay my bills, and you know what I'm saying. I'm living my best life. I still got struggles. I'm still working on things. I still got issues. I'm still, what I'm saying, trying to be better than I was yesterday. And that's the thing. That's all I can do right now and I learned that from being, in a program. I've been in all kinds I've been going to AA meetings, NA meetings, and church, and what is this? Others. I had to do CBT classes. I was seeing someone talking about my PTSD. I like the idea of fishing service. A fishing service. I need to do that, huh? Look, one of these days I'm gonna post all the pictures. I got a gang of pictures. Look, I took the wife. The wife does caregiving, and she was taking care of this elderly man who was in a wheelchair. He was paralyzed on his left side, and he only had one arm, so I would get the fish on the hook and snag the fish and make sure it's on the hook, and I would hold the pole so that he could reel it. And he pulled in 4 fish that day. He had a blast. I got it on video. I need to do a video about that. Thanks. That's a good idea. Thanks, Nicole. Who is that? Nicole Farnham. Okay. Thanks, Miss Farnham. Teaching is my calling. Ha! You got jokes. I can't even get my wife to listen to me. How I'm gonna teach somebody something? Man. No, you know what I'm saying? I need to look into that. I need to see about that because I would love to get paid to go fishing and show people how to fish every day. I don't know, you know what I'm saying, if my boss would allow that. But it'd be a good thing, and I think I'd be good at it. I love fishing and you know what I'm saying, it's something to look into. We're gonna have to look into that. You got any more good ideas, Miss Farnham? If so, hit the comments. Let me know. Let me get a thumbs up too while you're there. Nah, like I said, you know what I'm saying? I've been a little busy, the family's growing. I got a granddaughter on the way. At the gender reveal, I was, you know what I'm saying, where's that? I was team boy. I was team boy, but it didn't work out. I wanted a recount. There might have been a mistake. There could have been. Campouts. Campout services, huh? Taking people camping. Yeah. Yeah. Yosemite trips. I wonder, would people like doing shit like that? I got some video of a Yosemite trip that I did. Me and my wife, we rented an RV. Y'all go check that out. Miss Farnham, go check out that video. I did a video on Yosemite fishing. Yellowstone fishing. Yeah, I think I went fishing in Yellowstone. How do you know? Me and my wife. Look, this is the thing about being married. When you're married, your wife is there to help you out. So we had to go all the way to South Dakota to help my uncle out. We took care of that. And she figured out how to squeeze the dollar so tight. She squeezed a booger out of George Washington's nose. No. No, but she was able to manage the money so that we would have enough to instead of coming straight home from South Dakota, we was able to go through Wyoming and into Yellowstone, and we was able to see what 3/4 of Yellowstone. We was able to see Old Faithful and the sulfur pits, and was able to do some fishing in Yellowstone. Oh man, that it the water was so clear. But that's the thing, I wasn't set up right. I didn't know, and you can only use a fly rod. I didn't have a fly rod. Why would I have a fly rod? Ain't no fly fishing in San Diego, right? So how would I know? You know what I'm saying? So I had a regular rod. So I'm sitting there hitting, catching fish and letting them go. And then the guy comes down and he got waders on, the whole setup, the little baskets to put the fish in. And he's, working his way down to me, and he's casting and getting closer and closer. And I'm catching on my third fish, letting the fish go. And he gets close enough to holler, like, hey, you're not allowed to use that type of pole. You're supposed to use a fly rod. I'm like, really? I didn't know that. I got in the truck and headed on down the road. Thanks for telling me. Appreciate it, buddy. Headed on down the road, you know what I'm saying? Headed on down a little bit farther around the bend, then pulled over and got right back. Oh man, fish was cracking. But that's the thing, I didn't have the right tackle. I had stuff that works. That's the thing. I'm I'm gonna make it work. You can believe that. If I go fishing, I'm gonna go and catch it. But nah, some days, I don't mind, if ain't nothing biting, I could just sit there and relax and get a nap in. But, it's all about just being out in the fresh air in the open and, relaxing. That's fishing for me, whether you catch something or not. Because I don't eat the fish. I catch and release. I used to bring them back, people, oh yeah, bring them to me, bring them to me. But then, the fish ends up dying for no reason and people don't eat it. So I don't I'm not gonna keep doing that because I don't want to kill the fish. If you're gonna eat the fish, then I'll give it to you. But don't ask me, yeah, bring me the fish. And then when I bring you some fish, you're like, oh, I'm not there. Just leave them on the porch. And my sister did this like twice, and it's like, then she came home and forgot about them. Like, sis, I ain't forgot. I love you, but no more fish for you. I'd rather just throw them back. That way, when I come back out there, I can catch some more next time. But, like I say, life is good, man. Got a granddaughter on the way. Not a bad thing, seeing the glow in the daughter is a big thing. But like I say, I'm blessed. The family's growing, work got me. I got a job, I got work. So, I'm making a check. I'm able to survive. Life is good. No complaints, Still, you know what I'm saying, can't stop, won't stop, you know. And I just did a fishing video. I went to Loveland. Check it out, Loveland fishing with the took the homie out there and we caught some fish. We was just talking about I need to do a fishing service and take people fishing. I'm like, you know what I'm saying, I know all the spots in Dago. So if somebody needs to go fishing, hit your boy in the comments. You know what I'm saying? You can get hooked up. You got to pay for the boat. You got to have a license. And you know what I'm saying? I got all the everything bait and tackle. So, holla at your partner. But nah, it's fishing season. It's, what I'm saying? It's bass time. So bass are cracking right now. But I heard the croppies were biting real good just recently. Haven't been crappie fishing in a while, but they're out there, and I need to go. So, who wants to go crappie fishing? Hit your boy in the comments. uh, nah, life is good. I've been working, and man, the weather has been, you know what I'm saying, oh, beautiful, and I've been at work stuck. And now here it is the weekend and it's supposed to rain tomorrow. What the hell? Hey, I ain't complaining, because it never rains in Southern California. Nah, man, when I was a kid, my play brother wore me out with that song. Man, he used to play that over and over and over and over on repeat. And it's like, man, can we listen to something else? But nah, you know what I'm saying? We need the water, so no complaints. And, the way the news been, you know what I'm saying, their record so far is, oh, it's going to be a big storm, and then it's nothing. Then they say, oh, it's going to be a big storm, and then it's nothing. So we'll see. Is it going to rain or not? I don't know. Like I say, we need it. They say we still in drought. I know we ain't had no good rain in a while, and this year they say we only got half of what we were supposed to get. But they say up north they getting a gang of snow. I need to get up there. That's what I needed. I need to do the Yosemite trips. Who wants to go to Yosemite? Hell yeah, who wants to go to Yosemite? Let me know. Hit me in the comments, Figure it out. We'll rent an RV and we'll go up there, you know what I'm saying? We'll take the whole family and I'll show y'all where everything is at, you know what I'm saying? We'll, you know what I'm saying, hook up the food and take care of, you know what I'm saying, all the odds and ends, and y'all go have fun. And that's what camping's all about. Of course, we gonna be eating up y'all food. But yeah, you know what I'm saying, y'all want to go, hit your boy up, you know what I'm saying? I got a trip coming up not too long. Well, I think about a month or two. But yeah, it's coming up soon. Try and get out there, you know what I'm saying? I've only been to Yosemite once before, so now I've got to go back. Once you've been up there and you've seen the area, and it's like I've been just I ain't like I said, you know what I'm saying, last couple years ago, that was my first time ever going. But what's crazy is this guy's at work is like I'm telling them about it, and it's like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? We've been going up there every year since I was a kid. What? Oh, okay. This is a white thing. Yeah, I didn't get that part. Ah, that's fucked up. But like I said, still here. Hey, that's a short little mission for y'all. See y'all next time.